So this for A, the graph would be opening upward. So, but the graph is opening downward. So A is wrong. For the second one, if you solve for the y-intercept, it's going to be 4 by solving this by making it into general form. So B is wrong. How about C? D. For D, we looked at the intersections. So when we solve that the equation, we will have we should have something like this. If the intersections are -1 and -4, so D is wrong. So C is the only option. So this one, so recall the vertex form. If we have the equation like this, then H is the x-coordinate of the vertex. So since the x-coordinate of the vertex is lays on the positive x-axis, so that means it's positive. And from the given equation, if you write it into something like the vertex form, this part is actually negative b. That means this number must be positive. So b itself must be negative. So b is negative. For A and B, the opening downward shape tells you A is negative. So A and B are wrong. So the only option is D. So 52, we're given this graph. So we have this equation, okay. Y-intercept is -10. That means B is -10. So we have this equation. And then we have this point. This point means 1, 0. Since it lies on the parabola, then we can solve it. We can put it into the function. And then after solving, we find out A is 12. So we have every number we need. So the axis of symmetry is just x equals to x coordinate of the vertex. So it's just negative b over 2a. So after calculating, it's 3. So the axis of symmetry is x equals to 3. So for this one, we need to find out what is the y-intercept. That means we need to find the number c. So to find the number c, recall that this is just a product of roots. So if we consider this equation, in general we have this. So negative c is the product of roots. So we need to find negative c. So the product of roots is -6 multiplied by 2, so we get 12, negative 12. But we need negative c because we have the negative sign in front. So negative c will be 12. So the answer is A. So for this one, the coordinate of the vertex is -1 and 3. So write it down. Y-intercept is 1. So let's look at it. So in vertex form, if the vertex is h and k, we have this function. So here it tells me h is -1. That means the function should look like this. We should have x plus 1 inside the bracket. So A and C are wrong. Now we have used this information. Let's check what about the y-intercept. So a quick calculation for B, the y-intercept would be just the constant term subtract 3, and then it's -2, so it's wrong. So the but for D it worked out, so it's 1. So the answer is D. For question 40, the graph is opening downward. That means A is negative. So A and B are wrong. Now, how about C? C is just the y-intercept. It's lays on the negative y-axis. So it's a negative number. So C is less than 0. So the only option is D. You can still look at this. So this is just delta. We have two intersection points. So delta must be positive. So b squared minus 4ac must be positive. So for this one, so this is the given equation, given function. By vertex form, that means the vertex is negative h and negative k. That means axis of symmetry is negative h. So let's see what I have written here. So for the first one, the vertex is h and k. It's wrong. It should be negative h and negative k. Axis of symmetry should be x equals to negative h. So second one is wrong. How about the third one? Why is it correct? The only option, of course, is A. But why is this correct? So this part tells me the x-coordinate of the vertex must be positive. That means negative h is positive. That means h itself is negative. Same idea. The y-coordinate of the vertex is negative. That means negative k is negative. That means k itself is positive. So if you have a positive number multiplied by a negative number, it's going to be a negative number. So the third one is correct. So for this question, part A, we need to find alpha plus beta. So alpha and beta are the intersection points. That means that the roots of this equation equals to 0. That means if we put y equals to 0, we have this. Since this is an equation, we can divide it by -1, so we have this. And from our previous knowledge, sum of roots is just this number, because it's x squared minus sum of root plus product of roots. So alpha plus beta is 2. Now we need to find out what is A. Notice that if I have alpha and beta over here, then alpha plus beta over 2 will give me their midpoint. So the question told you the midpoint is -2. That means if I add them and then divide it by 2, I will get -2. So after solving, A is -4. For part B, you can use product of roots and solve for B and then find out what's the y-intercept. But there's another way around it. So alpha minus beta square equals to 24. That means the square of the distance is 24. That means the distance is square root of 24. -2 is the midpoint. That means beta must be -2 plus half of the distance, and alpha must be -2 minus half of the distance, because the whole distance is square root of 24. So we have alpha and beta already. So this is alpha, this is beta. Negative b is just a negative of product of roots. So multiplying these out, I get 2. So this is the answer. So this is the figure. Important point is OB minus OA equals to 2. That means OB equals to OA plus 2. So if OA, the distance is t, that means the coordinate of A would be -t, because A is on the negative x-axis. How about OB? Okay, OB would be OA and then plus 2. What is OA? If I make the distance reflected to this side, that means that this little part is just OA, which is just t, and then plus 2. That means the coordinate of B would be t plus 2, and then 0. So these are just the roots. So same idea. Well, after here, and then I noticed that if I add them together, the t would cancel out. The t disappear. I get a number. So now, if I can draw some relationship between this number and k here, then I can find k. So to find k, sum of root is just negative b over 2a, which is just, if you look at this, put y equals to 0, then sum of roots will be negative k over k minus 1, which equals to 2 after all the work done here. So after solving, I will have k equals to 2 over 3. Now, if I have k, if you look at this function, then you have all the coefficient you need, which is this one. So you can calculate vertex by the formula. So this is the vertex. For this question, find P and Q. So first thing is axis of symmetry is just will pass through the midpoint of A and B. That means axis of symmetry is negative, it's just a half. But we know that it's just the x-coordinate of the vertex. So what are the x-coordinate of vertex? It's just negative b over 2a, so negative q over 2p, which is equals to a half. I make it neater, so I solve this. I will have p equals to negative q. Another information is negative 2, 0 lies on the curve. So I can sub this point into the function. It should satisfy. So after putting this point in, so by putting it in, I mean put x equals to negative 2, y equals to 0. So I have this. Since p is just negative q, so I put this into p. So after a lot of work, q is negative a half. So since p is negative q, so p is just a half. So part A is done. Part B. Part B is easy now because I have all the numbers I want. P and Q are all found. So this is the function. For the point C, it's just a y-intercept. So that means it's going to be 0 and then the number C. I mean the constant term, so negative 3. For the vertex, just use the formula. So you should have this. For part C, is VA and BC shorter? So we need to calculate the distance. So the trick is to line up the coordinate vertically. So square root and then something square. Okay, what put inside is the difference between the x coordinate. So you just subtract them. The top one subtract the bottom one. Of course, you can do it the other way. This is just easier. So a half subtracted by negative 2 plus negative 25 over 8 subtracted by 0 and then square. So this I get this number from the calculator. I suggest you copy everything and then take the square root and then try to write a few digits out. Same idea for BC, but of course for the point B we need to find the coordinate of B. Y coordinate of B must be 0 since it lies on the x-axis. How about the x-coordinate? You can make use of the distance. The idea is similar. Or you can try to solve this equals to 0. So if you try to solve this, you will have two roots. One is -2, it's already here. The other one is 3, so b must be 3, 0. So you have coordinate of b. C is already found, it's just a y-intercept. That is easy. Same idea, you will find BC equals to square root of 18. Then you conclude that BA is actually shorter. For this one, notice that all the numbers are given. So let's try to make it into general form, so it's maybe easier for you to work with. So find the coordinate of C. C is just a y-intercept, which is just a constant term. So C is 0, 16. For V, same idea. Use the formula, you will have V. For part B, we need to find the ratio of the area. Well, notice that for those two triangles, so for triangle ABV and triangle ABC, they have the same base. The base is just AB. So fun fact is that if we have two triangles that have the same base, the ratio of the area is just ratio of their height, because every other term will cancel out, right? So we need to find the height. It's just V, this height and this height. So instead of letting a point here and then calculate the distance, I just take the y coordinate of V. So height of triangle ABV is 18, the other one is 16. So you calculate the ratio and simplify this, you will get 9 to 8. So if you don't know how to simplify this, you can calculate 18 over 16. Using the calculator, you will have 9 over 8, and then write it back into the ratio format.